That's right. Grand final week. The night of nights. It's the day of days, really. And what a special episode we have coming up here. It's going to be a grand final preview show. And we're going to give you the perspective of two, for lack of a better word, diehard supporters here. We've got an Eels supporter in Matthew O'Leary. Matt, how are you tonight? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. There's many words to describe how I'm feeling. Nervous is one of them.
How's the week been so far?
Yeah, I've never felt this way before, so it's just once in a lifetime opportunity. That's what I'm going to say.
Panda, talks. I mean, it's the third year in a row now. Were you really supporting them in 2020? We will never know. This might be one of the best for you. How are you feeling? How's the week been so far?
Personally, coming off the bat of what I would say is just an absolute humiliation. It was such a great week. Good start to the week. Feeling confident. And it's just a familiar sight, you know. 3 in a row. Feeling familiar.
That win against South would have been sweet.
I was there. Let's just say that Brian To'o try. So sweet.
It was
sweet.
It was so sweet to watch.
So sweet.
So sweet to watch. Respectfully,
of course.
Obviously, Eels coming in as the heavy underdog. Panthers coming in as the heavy favourite. I mean, tonight you guys have joined us. One is drinking a cup of tea. Obviously, clearly relaxed, with the other drinking lightly.
Does show that he's calm, confident.
And the other option is lightly sparkling spring water. Hydrate your 6 senses.
5-star health rating, mate.
I don't know why you're looking into this, but since when does Panda drink tea?
That's
right?
true. Grand final week does bring some things out into people. I mean, it's obviously...
Nothing's changed with me. That's what I'm going to say.
I've never seen you drink sparkling water in my life, but we move on. Now, firstly, guys, let's go over your origin of support. Obviously, both living in the eastern suburbs, quite a fair distance from both Penrith and the Parramatta Leagues. We'll start off with Panda. I mean, there's been a lot of controversy
There's been a lot of talk
in relation to how you actually don that jersey. Have your say.
And
when. So, I'm not going to lie. I'll set the record straight. Growing up, didn't support the NRL very much. I was a St. George supporter. Not going to lie.
Wow.
St. George supporter for the first maybe 10 years of my life.
So since birth?
Since birth.
Yeah.
Because my mother and my brother were Roosters, and we hate the Roosters, so wouldn't go there.
Yep.
Year 5.
Year 5.
I decided to make the switch to Penrith.
And why was that?
To be honest, if we look at the records, we weren't doing great.
They weren't.
We weren't
They
doing
the
great.
best.
So there was no jumping on the bandwagon or anything. It was Peter Wallace and Jamie Soward.
This is what we're saying. You've missed a part there that is often talked about. It's the New Zealand Warriors phase, Patrick.
False.
there was another phase.
Elaborate, Matthew.
So this is where there is a little bit of
Twisting the tails.
twisting in the tails.
Correct.
I think because you know what, it was a straight swap, St. George to Penrith. I don't know where the Warriors come from. I don't know what this hooligan's going to say next, but no.
One word. Sevens.
Elaborate, Matthew, please.
Yeah, please elaborate.
What do you mean by that?
I just remember that in the off-season, Pat was starting to grow a little bit, let's say, underwhelmed with his current supporting team, the Dragons. And he tried to be different, and he started supporting the Warriors. There was another team in there. I don't remember, but there was one more team. He's had 3 NRL teams. He's had 3.
It's a bit of twisting.
What is that other
with
one? There's another one.
Oh, there's another one.
What was the appeal? What was the appeal for this? You just wanted to be different with the Warriors?
With Penrith?
No, with the Warriors.
I do not recall being a Warriors
doesn't
fan.
recall the Warriors.
He'll continue to deny. Moving on now. I'm glad that's over.
So am I.
What about Matt's origin?
Yeah. Take us through it.
Well, I've always been a Parramatta supporter. never changed, never jumped ship, even in the darkest of times. Wooden spoon, you name it.
Multiple.
Yeah, many.
Jail.
Even through the, yeah, I'll let you say it.
Felonies.
Allegations.
Still my hero. Anyway, respectfully, but yeah, no. Ever since primary school, I'd always get made fun of, and like I just took that in my stride and ended up making other people Eels fans. Paul Kyrikopoulos, Marcus Littlejohn, if you're watching, shout out. Yeah, no, we sucked back then, and most would say we sucked at the start of the season, and we have overachieved.
Overachieved is an understatement. Now, Matthew, obviously, there has been rumours, there's been talks that you actually started supporting the Parramatta Eels from round 16 this year.
Wow, that's a claim.
I can actually,
That's a claim.
confirm or deny.
And Patrick has sprung to that.
I can confirm this.
And go ahead, Patrick.
Sorry, this man, Parramatta was in distraught. I'm pretty sure they weren't even in the top 8 at one point, or they were breaching. They were sitting around 8, 9. It was real concern about the season. And I do recall Matt saying, I'm done. Let me just say, I'll just add this to the evidence. This man has switched NBA teams about 5 or 6 times.
So you're basically saying he's got a history.
Irrelevant.
No, but it's a history.
No, but it's a history. It's a history.
relevant.
The signs are there.
If
signs
people,
are there.
if people want to bring up my history, let me lay down some history. This man has switched between 5 or 6 teams in one season, going between Sixers to Chicago Bulls, going back to Sixers, going to the Rockets. It's
History.
shocking,
History.
absolutely shocking. And you know what? It just pains me to see a man that can't follow his team throughout a full season.
And I'd like to, if we give the mic back to Matt for a second. Matt, just a quick question before we start.
go, come on.
Before we get into talking some footy.
Yeah.
When did you actually buy that jersey?
Oh, this jersey? It's a new
Yeah,
jersey.
when was that?
It was
purchased?
the oldest jersey I had.
Yep.
I bought over 8 years ago.
Yeah, but when did you buy this jersey you're wearing right now?
Oh, this season.
Moving on.
What round, actually?
What round?
Yeah, I bought it in the last round when we got my jersey was getting too small. It was getting too small.
All right, boys, let's talk some footy. The first half kicks off. I mean, the players will be nervous. I think the Penrith will be a lot more nervous, considering
It's theirs to lose.
the heavy favouritism.
It's theirs to lose.
It is
And-
theirs to
It
lose.
is theirs to lose.
And being a back-to-back premiership winner myself, it is quite nerve-wracking being the heavy favourite leading into a grand final decider. But, Panda, how do you see the first half going? Are you confident, considering the first half you had last week?
I've got a lot to say about this, but I'll keep it short and sweet. First of all, keeping it on a level playing field. I reckon Penrith it's Penrith grand final to lose, but I reckon the pressure is there for Parramatta with their history on the line here. We can go back to back, and we'll be up there with one of the greatest sets of teams that have gone back to back. But I think the first half will be simply determined by the coin costs.
The coin costs.
Coin. Oh my god.
Coin
toss.
That's a bad one.
That just says a lot, doesn't it?
Show some nerve.
Nerves.
Show some nerves.
Trouble.
I'm drinking tea, mate.
The tea is obviously not effective.
It's obviously gotten to the brain a bit, but yeah, the coin toss. I reckon whichever team wins, because it's going to determine who runs at who first,
Yeah.
and that whoever gets that first run will set the tone.
So you're saying the team that's kicking off is at a disadvantage?
Yes,
Interesting. I'd much rather be putting on the first.
but personally, I'm going to say, obviously, if we look back at our first half last week, absolutely shocking first, I'd say 30, 35 minutes.
bit of carry on from
Really
South.
worry. I'd like to say that the swap for Mitch Kenny did not work.
Well, yeah,
Did not work.
But the Coruscant interchange worked.
I
That's the
think
thing.
if Coruscant starts and we aren't kicking off, I see the first half being, I reckon, 18-6.
That's exactly what I've got written down. Now, last week, Panda, I heard the South Sydney 12-0 lead bring some tears to some people's eyes.
Yep.
South fans, I've heard there was happy tears. Matt, I'm warning you now. Do not fall for that. Do not fall for that. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah. Panda, spot on. I've actually got 18-6 here. I'll elaborate into what I think is going to happen a little later. But Matthew, the underdog story.
Mm-hmm.
How would you want to see the first half play out?
All season long, we've seen a winning Eels side dominate the first 20 minutes of the game. So my prediction stands with my heart, and I want the Eels to win, and I think the Eels are going to win. Only if we can come out of kick-off, firing, throwing the ball around, flick passes, offloads, just like playing good attacking footy. Because we know if you bring it down to like a battle and the nitty-gritty, like grinding it out.
Can't win.
No, not against Penrith.
Can't win.
That's what they love. And
Can't
that's
win.
what South couldn't do last week.
South had no second phase towards the end of the first half, start of second half, and I think that really rocked them. Obviously, I mean, one of the greatest tries in preliminary final history, Brian Toto, would have sunk their hearts. Would have sunk their hearts.
Oh, it sunk them.
Could watch that on replay.
Sunk
really.
them. Worse than the Titanic.
Daniel, grand final week's obviously been untouched earth for you.
Oh, 05 is there. 05 is there.
Do you remember it? Do you remember? Do you remember 05?
I was probably one and a half.
See, I didn't even have to say considering. I just said the word considering, and that was it. How do you think, obviously, living your whole NRL career as the underdog, are you signing with the Eels in the first half here?
I think the Eels definitely have to score first.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a tip. I think that will be Sean Lane if that happens.
We'll get into that later.
And
Interesting.
the difference, obviously, South last week dominated the 35, as we've said, but going into half time, they looked defeated after it being. It was still 12-all. You know, there's still another. It was pretty much a start. You got to think of it. You're starting again. But the Eels can't let that happen to them, even if they go into half time down. Because then Penrith are too good. They'll just wear you down, play their own game.
Yep, of course.
And the talk throughout the week has obviously been the kick pressure on Cleary. That's really important. They need to make sure they nail that. Otherwise, you know, if there's no kick pressure on Cleary, it's 24-0 at half time.
Let's just say
24-0.
Watching that second Cleary bomb last week, the one that Tane dropped, I was mesmerised. watching that thing go up, I looked at it and I was like, wow. Wow. No hope for Walker Blake.
You know what they say? It's always a lot better in person.
It is.
My thoughts leading in. I think first of all, I think a first half lead for Parramatta is crucial. I think if they're losing at half time, they've lost the game already. But I think like last week, the Eels will dominate the first 25, 30 minutes, just on the base of pure emotion. But guess what? Emotion doesn't win you premierships. You'll wear out.
No, it
I
doesn't.
mean, you saw it happen to the South last week. I mean, they were supposedly the informed team of the competition, and they just broke. They just broke.
Broke off the first set of the second half.
Literally. All right, so first half, we've pretty much, it's a majority vote that, you know, Panthers have at least an 18-6 lead. But the better game would be an Eels lead. It was tight at least. Now, second half, after the halftime whistle, the teams entered the sheds and prepared for the second half. 40 minutes left before true glory. Now, from experience, and I mean in-person experience, playing, the second half can change everything. The second half...
Jesus Christ.
Stop laughing, Shaz. You're making me laugh. How do you guys see the second half playing out? Panda, we'll go to you. I mean, it's a big 40 minutes, isn't it?
It's a big 40 minutes, and I'm hoping to God that Ivan Cleary gives a Craig Fitzgibbon speech out there. God, it's going to be tough.
Physically or vocally?
Well, I hope both. I hope both. Yeah. I hope he's getting his 2 hours of jiu-jitsu in before he speaks to the boys.
Yeah.
But I think there's something like we've won almost every single game we've led at halftime.
Probably.
So, I'd say, like, you know, we got to come out hard. We came out and we destroyed South Sydney in the second half. If I can say that again against Parramatta, I don't see us losing the game. I cannot see that happening.
Look, I've heard predictions. I heard Munster just on the red carpet at the Daily M's, obviously on tonight, that he said it's going to come down to a Nathan Cleary field goal in Golden Point.
Who cares about him?
He's has one of the most decorated opinions in the world of rugby league, Matthew.
Yeah, right. You'll play for the Dolphins next season.
The Tigers are in there. I mean,
Tigers have no chance of signing Cameron
8
Munster.
million.
That's a farce. Matthew, 40 minutes. I think the last 40 minutes will decide definitely if you're going to win or lose the match. I mean, it's quite obvious to say.
It's not a hot take.
Not a hot take at all. Do you think? Do you think you could win if it's close? Like I'm saying, if it comes down to a field goal, do you think you've got the composure, the calmness to do so, or would you rather say a 8 point lead leading into the last 20 minutes of the match?
Well, we're the only side to have beaten them twice this year. The first game came down to it, and we won in the heart of Penrith.
I don't think it did, actually.
In the heart of Penrith. Yeah, and we scored the winning try, like to ice the game, coming down to it. Second game, like Cleary, he's a dog. He's a weak-got dog.
Wrong player, mate.
But yeah, but I can't see us. If we're down with probably 15 minutes to go, I reckon we can't win. Even though we did it against Cowboys, it's a different story.
It's a
against
different
Penrith.
beast, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a different beast.
But I reckon we'll show more heart out there. And yeah, I don't know. I'm nervous.
I can really hear the nerves in your vocal.
I don't think Money Mitch is a clutch player.
Speaking about Money Mitch, I actually saw him at the gym today.
Really?
Yeah. No, Mitch Black. Oh, OG Mutters.
OG. Yeah, look, if we look back at it, obviously we've lost the two games throughout the season.
Mental toll.
The second one, I don't know if it's too tolly because it's
I don't think it was either. As soon as Nathan Cleary gets sent off, the whole game's thrown. The architect himself getting ripped from the squad, but
and you did win the second half of that match.
Exactly.
That's a mentality issue.
And we obviously beat them in the first round of the finals convincingly. But I'd just like to say, I'm pretty sure there was a game last year, Penrith Parramatta, when Mitch Moses was given an outrageous penalty to win the game. I think it was 20 all, and he could have kicked it from about 30. Missed it. And then we ended up winning that game off a field goal. So I think if it comes down to it, Mitch.
If you want to talk about last year, I can remember distinctly that Penrith Panthers cheated against the Eels.
Elaborate.
Their trainer, Jerome Luai, pulled back Moses.
Yeah.
Matt, all the stoppages.
First of all, two things from that.
We were robbed.
Sounds like you're still hurting from that. And
a little bit.
I think if you're hurting from that, Matt, the players definitely are. Secondly, I can't remember what I was going to say, but it was good.
I'll add to this. Secondly, I think you should watch the way you talk, because if we want to look back at last week, you robbed the Cowboys off a confirmed forward pass.
Mitchell Moses
confirmed forward pass. Mitchell Moses is delirious.
They don't want to talk about Val Holmes' pass either, which flew half a metre forward.
Flat. Losing track a bit. Back to the topic of Mitchell Moses being clutch. I think it's on. He kicked that goal from the sideline last week to put him up, 6?
Even
or
four.
Put him up 4. Yeah, he did have a bad game. So yeah, but then the grand final's a different stage. So if it comes down to Money Mitch from the sideline,
well, it does. But Mitchell Moses has never played a grand final in his career. Cleary's been in multiple big games. I just think the inexperience is another factor that does hurt the Parramatta side. I mean,
have they got a player that's been in a grand final?
I think they've got one. I don't think they do.
They've got like people that have played finals footy.
Yeah, but not a grand final.
But no, I don't think anyone's got grand final experience.
I'm sure they would have. I'm sure the media would have grabbed onto that though, saying that they have never played a grand final.
And you know what? Best of luck to them. But if we look back, when we versed Storm in our first grand final in a couple of years,
2020.
Yep. Our only player that had grand final experience was Tamo. And we obviously lost that game, 26-20. And I think the inexperience really hurts the team. It did on that night, didn't it? It definitely did. It really hurt that one.
Look, for me, Daniel, did you have your thoughts on the second half? Did I ask you about your thoughts?
No, not yet, actually.
Would you like to go through your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think, it's completely dependent on who goes into halftime in the lead. But yeah, say it's most likely it's going to be Penrith, and the biggest thing is the mentality coming out of half time. The Eels can't feel defeated, because that's when they start, especially themselves. They start to, you can tell they're playing frustrated,
Panic,
and there's a bit of panic. And if that's going to be enhanced anywhere, it's in the grand final. But yeah, I think if they come out of the second to the second half looking a bit defeated,
thanks, Mum.
yeah, Penrith will just run them down and just grind out that game.
Look, for me, I think something that makes me really worried if I'm a Parramatta fan is the fact that Bailey Simonson's at centre in a grand final.
That is
He
strange.
played amazing last week, don't get me wrong, but it's a different beast this week. He'll be up against Critter. It makes me worried. It makes me really worried.
Have you seen 14th man?
Elaborate?
Nathan Brown?
Jacob
been
Arthur's
recalled.
also on the bench.
Yes, we should have talked about that actually, Matt. What are your thoughts on Brownie coming back in the squad? I think it's a great move.
No, I think it's disgusting.
Elaborate on that.
I think it's disgusting. A player that sat out for over 10 rounds because of off-field behaviours shouldn't be recalled for the grand final. If you want to make a statement, you're not going to bring him back for the most important game of the season.
Who is he replacing? Who's lost their spot because of it?
Murata Niokore.
Oh, okay.
Niakore's in the squad. It's Bryce Cartwright got cut.
Oh, yeah, he's 18th
No, but
man.
they
he
cut-
came in for someone as well. No, Makasi Makatoa is
I think they cut Cartwright because they were saying they don't want Arthur and Cartwright on the bench. They only want one of them.
I don't want either.
And Arthur's
I don't
obviously
either.
got a bit more
Nepotism.
slight with the coach.
Considering the last name correct, yeah, that's spot
it's
on
his
there,
daddy.
mate. Spot on.
Who has Nathan Brown come in for? I actually don't know.
I was saying I think he's come in for Bryce Cartwright.
No, he has. Yeah, he has.
Did Bryce Cartwright play last week?
I believe so. I think I saw him on the field, to be honest.
Yeah, Bryce Cartwright played last week.
Well, I did see some talk that the reason why they brought him in is they can believe that he's going to get into the heads of the Penrith players.
And I think he has. I mean, I think Riccio, Dave Riccio, shout out Dave Riccio, he's obviously a listener, on 360 last night said that the word has come down to the foot of the mountains, and that the Penrith players basically aren't happy that the Eels have selected a player just to take out their halfback. I wouldn't be happy about that either if I was them, and I think it'd be a very sour taste in their mouths. It'll be a very sour taste in their mouths.
Interesting.
And I think watch out for some early shots on Brownie. That's all I'm going to say. If I'm Brownie, I'm not wanting to run that ball. All right, guys, the second half, it's done. It's over. Final predictions. Let's go. Winner, score, Clive Churchill. So we'll go first try scorer, score, winner, Clive Churchill medalist. Patrick?
First try scorer, I'm going to say Isaac Tango.
Yep.
Final score,
And winner?
obviously Penrith.
Yep.
I don't see a doubt in my mind. I reckon it's going to be a close game. I've said it the whole week. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I reckon 24-20 Penrith way.
Yep. Clive Churchill?
Api Coruscant
Wow.
It's a fair tip. It's hot.
And
tip,
where's
that
he
one.
going to take that medal if he wins it?
to
Straight
Tiger
down to
Town.
Leichhardt.
He's going to
Straight down
Tiger Town with
Leichhardt.
Sheensy.
Back to Penrith for as long as he can before he has to go to Tiger Town, Daniel.
Off to
All right.
Tiger Town with Sheensy.
Matthew, first try scorer, winner, score, Clive Churchill.
First try scorer, Isaiah Papali'i.
It's through the middle, up the guts. That's an interesting call.
No, he's going to hit the edge.
Yeah,
And he's going to go
fair
around.
enough, yes, of course, correct.
What is it? Final score?
Final score and winner.
Final score,
obviously.
28-20 to the Eels.
High scoring.
Yep.
The overs.
Yeah, the overs by 3. The overs by 3. And what, Clive Churchill?
Mm-hmm.
Surprising, Ruffy, Dylan Brown. If we're going to win, he's going to have the best game of his career.
He's going to have a monster
He's going to have the
performance
best game
for
of his
sure.
career.
For sure. Daniel?
Like I said, if Penrith don't score, if Penrith score first, it's over. I think it's going to be 30-16
Wow.
to the Panthers.
These are some high
30
scoring.
30-16
lines.
to Penrith.
Ouch.
30-16 to Penrith.
So 13 plus.
Yes. First try scorer will be. We'll go Dylan Edwards. First try scorer.
FTS, fair enough.
Okay. Yeah.
Dylan Edwards, first try scorer. And then we'll say man of the match. I'll say Dylan Edwards is man of the match as well.
Fair enough. The Edwards show. You've got the Edwards show. For me, look, I'd love to see the Eels win, but I'm going to have to go with Penrith after their. Once again, I'll bring it up again. Sorry, South Sydney fans, after their clinical performance last week.
Yeah, you apologise a lot, but it doesn't seem sincere.
Don't be sorry.
You know
It's
what?
justice being served.
at all.
I'm not sorry at all.
I'm going to say I'm happy. I was happy to see that result. I hate the Rabbitohs.
So do I.
You've just dug yourself a hole, mate. Welcome.
Moses Leota on Joel Minibar.
Sure.
You can't do that.
So I'm going to go. I'm going to go first try scorer. I'm going to go first try scorer. I think the Eels will score first. I'll go Micah Sevo, first try scorer. I'll go Penrith 17-10. Winners, 1-12 margin there for all the punters out there. Clive Churchill, what a story it will be. Api Coruscant, last game of the year, last game of the season for him as a Penrith Panther. What a story it will be. And the Tigers got himself a good one, unless there's any late dramas.
Well,
Like Papa
morally,
doesn't want to go.
if I'm thinking with my heart, I want Parramatta to win, because I feel like if they win, Papa Lee will be like, yeah, I've won the comp. Now I can head over to the developing side. If they lose in the grand final, he's not coming. He's not coming to Leichhardt. He will be staying home.
That's actually a really fair statement.
I think his words were, I don't like
Where the Tigers are going.
Where they're going.
We can only go up, mate. Like
That must sting. That must sting. I think we'll end it on there, lads. I think we'll end it on there. Look, thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
And go Parra, huh?